Psalm 65. To the end, a psalm of David, the canticle of Jeremy and Ezekiel, to the people of captivity when they begin to go out. And we know what Jeremiah spoke about when it's time, when the time we're in now is to leave. We know Ezekiel told us, about the valley of the dry bones, which proves there. I mean, if the Ashkenazi Jew has the Levitical writings and whatever, how could they fit the people of the dry bones? How could they be asleep and have they finally would be woken up and go searching for the creator when they put on the show that's all they do is search and read and research. I understand there are those that leave Judaism or whatever it is, and but you can't be the people who consistently have the word and be the ones that are asleep and have to wake up eventually and not know who the creator is. In Jeremiah, when he told us the day's gonna come where the people will walk out of the north country, right, and they'll no longer call him the one that led him out of Egypt, but the one that led his people out of the north country. See, in captivity. I mean, look at what we're learning about now. You know, I won't bring up that, but I'm going to bring up in another video just something I find interesting about how we're searching and researching. And I mean, look at me, I'm reading law. I'm listening to Liverbox recordings on law, the King's laws and things like that. Who would have thought? but a hymn, O God, becometh thee in Sion, and a vow shall be paid to thee in that city. I don't like to use that because Lex Will has shown us what the right name is. I just haven't been able to memorize it yet. Because I watched the video and it was mind blowing at the end. I just keep forgetting the name of it, and I don't want to say that because we know now that's not what we're supposed to call it. Let's see. Oh, hear my prayers. All flesh shall come to thee. The words of the wicked have prevailed over us, and thou wilt pardon our transgressions. And we know, I mean, the wicked call us anything. They write it down on paper. They say what they want. The pen is mightier than the sword. And now look at this. We're in a never-ending battle to not only correct the record, but also fight against the so-called politically correct terms that they use today, which are incorrect, just with the simple tools that we have now at our discretion. Etymology. I mean, how are people still calling themselves black when we finally ever shown etymology? How are people still calling themselves Africans when you plainly see Africans don't call themselves that? They tell you where they come from, and then we know the etymology of African. So, and then the parting of the transgressions. Think about that, right? Now, again, it's the Most High that does this. It's not Jesus. He never gave anybody else the ability, like Lex always taught us. He never gave anyone, a man, an angel, nobody, the ability to pardon anyone's sins or anyone's transgressions, anyone's trespassing. So why would he do that? Give it to somebody in the future, or in the New Testament. So these three men, David, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, they all knew what they were talking about because they spoke directly to the Creator. Blessed is he whom thou hast chosen and taken to thee. He shall dwell in thy courts. Courts, only two places I know of a court, right? That's either in the castle. There's a court usually in there, right? And it's usually in a courtroom. So he's gonna be knowledgeable in the ways of the Most High's laws. He shall be filled with the good things of thy house. Holy is thy temple. Wonderful and just. Hear us, O God, our Savior. Wow. Again, no Jesus, no nothing else, no Yeshua, HaMashiach, none of that stuff, right? The Most High is our Savior. And it's been here the whole time. Who art the hope of all the ends of the earth, and in the sea afar off. So that's pretty self-explanatory, No matter where you are, He's the hope. You see, that's unlike Christianity. Under Christianity, right? Because the question is, well, what about the people that live in a remote island that never heard about Jesus? What do they die? They all go to hell. Well, hopefully somebody brought them a good word. Okay, no, no, no. It's innate. It's in everybody. You know, God's laws. Let's see. Thou who preparest the mountains by thy strength, be girded with power. Who troubleth the deep of the sea, the noise of its waves. The Gentiles, sorry, wow, the Gentiles shall be troubled, and they that dwell in the uttermost borders shall be afraid at thy signs. Thou shalt make the outgoing of the morning and in the evening to be joyful. So, where it seems like, and I might be wrong. I mean, this is where you guys can comment, But it seems like after what comes, and the Most High, doing what He's going to do, there are those that are wicked and those that don't know. They're gonna see these things and be terrified, right? And for us, after all the terrorist things that we've seen, terrible things we've seen, we're gonna see the morning and the evening, and we're gonna be like, wow, another day, wow, another evening. It's gonna be another day of life. I mean, that's how I look at it. I might be wrong though. Thou hast visited the earth and has Thou hast visited the earth and has plentifully watered it. Thou hast many ways enriched it. The river of God is filled with water. Where is that river? Thou hast prepared their food, for so is it. Hold on. For so is its preparations. Full of plentiful the streams thereof. Multiply its fruits. It shall spring up and rejoice in its showers. Thou shalt bless the crown of the year of goodness. Now I should have looked into that, what the year of goodness means, or what it is. And they shall, and thy fields shall be filled with plenty. The beautiful place of the wilderness shall grow fat, and the hills shall be girded about with joy. The rams of the flock are clothed, and the valleys shall abound with corn. They shall shout, yea, they shall sing a hymn. Now, what I did want to show you is what I found when I was discussing this chapter with my big sister there. Let me show you this. Right one, hold on. Do look at that right there. Look at that. Now, where is it that we're trying to go again? I mean, look at that blotted. Now, think about that. He said that where he's preparing, the land is supposed to be at rest. The land is undesirable to a lot of people, so they're not gonna, this is not gonna draw a lot of attention at this time because the land is supposed to be at rest, going through its Sabbaths and stuff like that, right? Because they weren't observed. I'm sorry, I said it right the first time. So how much of that land out there is land that nobody really wants, right? And then in that land, there's supposed to be what, mountains, and in the mountains there's going to be hills, and well, in the mountains there's supposed to be valleys, and in the valleys there's also hills. And that made me think of something, right? I remember when I was growing up, and I forgot all about this until the other day. I was talking to my big sister. Left Behind, right? The movie Left Behind, the second one. They started that movie, right, with them, making this miraculous discovery on how to use corn and yada yada yada, and how they could grow it out there in their desert region, what they call Israel, and so on and so forth. And then the planes come from the different nations to attack Israel, and supposedly, in this version, God puts up a shield around them, and these planes are blasted out of the sky. And it just started making me think about the things that we're reading here. A lot of people, are scared and terrified, but it reminded me of The Simpsons, right? In Springfield, when that tornado hit, how Springfield had this, shield that nobody could explain that was around it, keep it from being torn up by the tornadoes. I'm like, what are they trying to show us? And I keep telling, everyone that asks me, and I keep forgetting, though, even though I'm the one that keeps saying it. What do you have your faith in? The Most High, or yourself, or the opposition? If you're doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? The Most High has already told us where to go, what to do, how to do it, what's going to be expected. But if you're not doing these things, of course you're going to be afraid. You're going to be, the fear is real. You know. But I just thought that was crazy. Look at where the Rams are supposed to be, and you know what those Rams are for.